5-year anniversary of Jason Mewes being completely clean and sober.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Never in a million years would have thought 5 years ago that was possible.
That's one experience from the movie that there's always like, there's always moments where I see him and I'm like, holy fuck, that guy's still alive.
Yeah. No
And
doubt.
not just alive, but thriving. And
Thriving.
like,
And
has,
also, like,
has an
people-
apartment.
Yeah, and
like
a
washer,
and a fiance,
dryer. Yeah.
and
Like,
fucking,
he owns appliances. Which
he
is
does.
like,
He's committed. He's grown up. But people who've seen the movie so far are like, man, fucking Mewes. Like, wow, this dude's gonna pop huge off the movie. Which I'm always like, really? Because he's fucking been Jay in 5 movies, and they're like, well, maybe that's the point. Dickhead. Is it 5 or 6? Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob, Clerks 2, 6 movies.
yeah.
But just because he got a haircut, everyone's like, wow, he's fucking amazing. Well, he's also really funny in the movie. But
Yeah.
and he's playing a different character, maybe it's that. But it's weird how people react to him now.
Yeah.
Like before, it was just like, well, he was just Jay, silly Jay,
Yeah.
and silly Bob. But now they're like, man, he's fucking like, ooh, he's cleaned up and he looks good and fucking. And you see that dude in the All Together, man. He's like, you see he's got a good body and shit.
Yeah.
Chicks who watch the movie are very like, they react to like, ooh, he's hot. I've heard a few people say he's got a nice dick.
Yeah.
I think I've already said to someone on the board that Mewes does full frontal. So yeah, it's weird. He might actually fucking wind up working more off this movie than the other ones.
Well,
Which I find kind of insulting.
that people didn't sort of.
Take him more seriously off of Jay and Silent Bob.
I think people had interest, but I don't think people didn't know what to do with him, and he also wasn't at that time seemingly pursuing anything
Right.
except for heroin.
Yeah,
or
some
whatever.
fucking horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Actively pursuing it.
and he would, he would shift, and it was like I feel like people would watch it and be like, he has an audience, but then this other thing, ends up overshadowing him.
Right.
Which happens with, people all the time. And he wasn't somebody who's like, I've done 8 huge movies, or like, I mean, he'd done like some movies and established himself as this one person, and you could understand somebody wanting to take a chance, but then they see this other thing that overshadowed that. Especially in Jay and Bob. It was not, when Jay and Bob was over, he was not
lost.
in great shape.
No, he was terrible. He stayed. I mean, he drank all through Jay and Bob. We got him off the horse and the oxy, and then he was just like, well, I got to drink. And at that point, we were so like, okay, if you have to drink, that's better than the other two. So he drank through the production. That's why you look at the movie, he's got that puffy, drunk face. Whereas he says turkey neck. But the moment we wrapped in Jersey,
Yeah.
he went into the fucking trailer, and the moment he was wrapped, I'm no lie, dude, it was about a 10-minute difference between I saw him at the end, when we wrapped him, and he was like, I'm gonna go to the trailer, and then we were wrapping out because we were kind of done, and the Middletown cops were there because they blocked off the streets and shit, and they were like, hey, can we take a picture with you and Jay? And I said, yeah, totally. So I went to get him and knocked on the trailer door, and like he opened the door, and it was night and day. He had went and hit some oxys pretty hard and was just like, hey. I was like, oh god, we gotta take a picture with some police officers, dude. And then he just like fucking went straight in the toilet for a long time after that.
Well, we went back to LA, so we didn't really see him, and the first time I saw him was
when he lost the fucking
when I saw the music
video. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
That was bad. I remember I went back, that was in June. Went back to shoot those June of 2001. Went back to shoot the music videos, and we'd been cutting in LA, and he stayed in Jersey. I went back, and I think I've definitely written about this story, but like showed up at his house, and his sister was outside. I was like, can you send Mewes out? And she's like, yeah. And she goes inside, and a dude comes out, this fucking skeletal crackhead comes out of the house. Kind of looks like Mewes, and I was like, wow, Mewes is hanging out with fucking crackheads that look like him now. And then that crackhead got in the car, and I was like, oh my god, and I started crying. It was him, and he lost like 30 pounds and shit. It was horrible. But yeah, 5 years fucking clean and sober. And just like night and day.
Yeah.
Like I was saying to Schwabach last night, I was like, it's almost getting tough to remember a time when he was bad. I mean, I could sit there and quote, like I just told the story about what he was, but that seems like a lifetime ago. And he's very conscious of not backsliding ever either. Because like I remember there was one point where we were having a party at the apartment in Pittsburgh, like when all the cast got there and whatnot, and people started smoking a little weed, and he smelled it, and he was playing foosball, and he pulled his shirt up over his face, and then excused himself like 2 minutes later. He was like, I can't be here, and took off and shit. So he's like, he's nowhere near the backslide. You know, he'll mention from time to time if you ask him about it, like, is it tough? And he's going, it's just tough sometimes when, like, people are sitting around drinking and you feel like, man, it'd be nice if I could have a beer, but I can't. He's like, every once in a while I get a taste in my mouth that reminds me of, like, doing cocaine or something like that. But he's like, then I just do something else real quick. One night she was just like, let's get stoned, which is so fucking weird to hear her say, because she's never that person. And we did. We got fucking baked. It was very, very good weed. And all I wanted to do was fucking eat. Not fucking eat. Fuck and eat. And I've never gotten laid high before. It was tremendous.
Awesome.
It was pretty fucking wonderful. It was really like, you know, kind of spiritual and shit, like Indians fucking dancing around the bed kind of thing, like Out of the Doors movie. It was pretty fucking intense. And then all we would do was fucking chow down. And it was like a high that lasted for hours. It wasn't like, you know, I was high for a good hour and then it went away. It was like hours till I went to bed. I woke up a little stoned too.
I saw you the next morning. I came over. I was
and
like, what's wrong?
Like, let's fucking eat. Yeah. And I'm like, what? We're not on an island.
Thought I was going to watch the movie?
All it was chow down. And it was, you just forget after a certain point that you're
mindless.
Eating. Yeah, it really is just mindless, kind of hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. It was fucking nutty. But we did it for like 4 days straight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was done with the cut.
Did you do it after I saw you?
Yeah, we kept doing it. That whole fucking week we kept doing it. Like every day we get to a certain point.
Did you kill the bag?
There's no weed left.
Wow.
And it was a good sized bag too. But we just kept like there was one night where she was like, or it was one day, and she's like, what are we going to do today? I was like, you know what? Let's get stoned, fucking eat. And she was like, that is genius. And that's all we did all day long. Got stoned, watched fucking like, it was awesome. It was like, basically I went back and had a high school experience. We got stoned. We watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I suddenly understood why people
are stoner movies.
Yes, why they're like, oh man, I fucking get baked and watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Because I got really baked and watched Fast Times, and it was just phenomenal. Like, I like that movie, but like, it was phenomenal. Then we watched Vacation, which is a movie I love, and it was even fucking funnier.
Yeah.
Little tiny shit. Once we got stoned and just laughed at the Dachshund at Shecky. Like, I picked her up and I was just like, look at it. And the dog had this real confused face on, but it was pretty damn awesome. But it was, I can understand why people like to get high and watch. I almost did watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Even in my stoned state, I was like, that might be too creepy to be like watching your own movie all stoned. Maybe not though. I bet you I would find the movie even funnier.
No, you have a taste for it.
Totally. But yeah, that week, that's all we did. It was pretty tremendous. It was a nice vacation. Because I didn't really do it while we were in production. And we had a lot of stoners on that set.
There was no shortage of pot.
Yeah. I did it the very last day after we wrapped. The whole time, like, you know, I'd be cutting, I'd be showing Rogan and Banks and the rest of the cast footage whenever they wanted to see it. And Rogan at one point had told Malcolm, he was like, I think it'd be awesome to get fucking stoned with Kevin and watch the movie. So I told him, like, hey man, when we're done, you and me will get baked and watch the movie. And we did that on the last night, and it was pretty fucking fun. And then really, we didn't even watch the whole movie. we watched outtakes. And it was just it was pretty fucking hysterical, like, because he's a funny dude anyway in all the footage. And there was this one clip where I had him like turn and do a reaction, like when Mr. Surya walks away from him, he watches him go and then he turns back and says something. And I gave him the first one to say, and then I was like, just go, just give me a bunch. And he went on for at least 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were pretty fucking funny. Like, I was crying when we were shooting it, laughing on the set. But, and, you know, some of them are absolutely inappropriate for the movie itself, but, like, it was fucking hysterical. But when we were stoned, I almost died because I was laughing so fucking hard. It was pretty fucking genius.